Is it me, or is this NHS reform business completely out of hand? I don't know, I don't understand myself that these old age pensioners, how on earth can you decide to change the pension age for people who have been in work all their life and have paid into the pension and are expecting to retire at whatever age it might be, and then just suddenly tell them, that's it, sorry mate, you're going to be working for another couple of years. I mean, I know we're all getting older, and I know that we're going to have to put up with working for longer. I mean, it's unsustainable. It's just incredible. It fascinates me when I think about it. That, what did they say the other day? Somebody said the most amazing thing to me. Not to me, it was on the news or some science programme or another, that the 150-year-old person is already alive today. That's mind-blowing, isn't it? So what they're saying is that there's somebody's been born already who will live to be 150. That's just wow. That's right out there, because I believe it, because when I think back to when I was a lad, my grandparents and all their friends and my great aunts and all that kind of stuff, if they lived to be 75, they had bloody good innings. I mean, they really had. You think, yep, 75, the 3 score year and 10, they've had 5 years over the top of that. And that's good stuff. Nowadays, if you live to be 75, you die at 75. Everybody goes, oh dear, we're very young. There's people, their life starts at 75 these days. They're off cruising and hiking the world and all sorts of things. So I mean, there's no question. And then you look at my parents' generation. They've ratcheted up on average another 10 years on top of what my grandparents had. 85 now is the kind of age where you expect to be, being nailed down in your coffin, and so I can only assume that, if God willing I survive to old age, it'll be kind of the norm for people to be croaking it at 95, and so I can quite easily see why they say the 150-year-old person is already alive on this planet. But but I mean, to just knock people's pension, to just say, oh, well, you've got to work another 5 years. They've got to phase it in, haven't they? That's what they've got to do. They've got to say, well, if you're 40, then you're going to have to work another 3 years. If you're 30 at the moment, you're going to have to work another 4 years. And if you're just starting out in life at 20 or whatever, then expect to be working another 6 to 7 years or something, because you can't just go, right, this applies to everybody under the age of whatever it is they're saying, 55 is it or something, you're all going to have to bloody work another 5 years. I mean, that's upsetting everybody, and everyone to get your state pension. I mean, that's a bloody nonsense as far as I'm concerned. It don't affect me particularly necessarily, but it's not really fair, is it? And how they're going to look after all these old people, I don't know. I mean, it's a difficult one, but they're going to have to find a way. But and the way the old NHS is going at the moment, I can't see it improving any, and some of it is just absolutely disgraceful. I mean, to get me going on the grassroots stuff is just... Our doctor's surgery is unbelievable. You now have to... let's bear in mind, nowadays, you get your ticket as a doctor, as a GP, that's a ticket to being a millionaire. Not immediately, I don't mean, but by the time you've finished work and you've done all your stuff and you've saved a little bit from the wages they get plus the pension, you're a paper bloody millionaire. So you're signed up for life. Now, they don't do any bloody home calls anymore. they don't get off their arse to do much. Okay, be fair, I wouldn't want to sit there in a room fiddling about with old ladies' prolapse rings. Don't get me wrong, I bloody wouldn't. But I also didn't sign up to be a GP, did I? You know, if you sign up to be a GP, then that's what you should expect to have to do. You know, but the point is they won't come and see you. I have to now with my GP surgery. What I have to do is I have to phone up, and then I have to explain my symptoms to a doctor over the telephone, and then they make a decision whether or not I should come in and have an appointment. Now I say doctor, they also, when there's no doctor available, have the pharmacist. I'm not giving my symptoms out to a pharmacist. And what's more, I think that's morally wrong. It's alright for a middle-aged man like me, I don't care what I say, and I've got a reasonable knowledge of background of medical bits and pieces, and I think I can pretty much put a symptom over, you know, to a doctor. But what about these poor old ladies and old gents that are out there, and they don't know what's wrong with them particularly, and they might miss something important? I mean, the whole idea of having a doctor is that they can see you and go, oh yeah, you've got such and such. If I could diagnose myself, I wouldn't need to go to the blasted doctor. I'd just go straight to the chemist and get the pills. It must frighten the living daylights out of these old people to know that they don't have immediate access to someone with a sympathetic ear and someone who they trust to be able to diagnose their illness. They're having to try and self-diagnose the blasted thing over the telephone. You know, that's just not. I can't see how they can get away with that, but they do. They get away with it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And as for the dentist, well, that's you know, I think that's something for another moaning vlog. So, but I guess we mustn't grumble. See ya.